All right, what's up, guys? Anthony here, Special Analysis. Welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about crude oil, how we navigated it inside the live trade room this morning. As we got together, I always do a recap on all four of the markets that we trade: NASDAQ, S&P, crude oil, and gold. So in my recap here, for those of you who don't know, I have studied the crude oil asset since the beginning of my trading career. It's still the market I am most passionate about. It is the market that I have made the most amount of money in, and it is the market that I'm still adamant about today. So if you said to me, Anthony, what kind of trader are you? I am a crude oil futures trader. Okay, that's what I identify myself as because that's where the majority of my activity transpires. So I run several different services around this particular asset class, and we ran into some higher time frame. This is a daily chart of the current contract being traded. Overhead resistance. I got my swing traders to protect themselves. We took profit 3 times on the way up. We basically nailed the last third there, or the final third, I should say, of our position. We were hoping for it to go higher. It did not, but we literally captured profits at 79, about 30 cents short of the absolute high. Okay. On the way down, we called the bottom within literally a handful of ticks. If I can tell you that I understand one market better than any other, and I could read any chart on any time frame, I can tell you that I have an intuition into crude oil. So as I gathered this morning with my live futures traders, I said to them, I go, listen, there's a better than not chance crude oil could see 72 today. And this is while we were above 73. But I said to them, I'm like, just looking at the higher time frame, the way I've guided my swing traders, there's a better than not chance that we actually fall down from here. And that's exactly what we did. I'm not touting myself. All I'm telling you is I simply read the price action, right? On the way up, ran into some significant resistance, broke down, lost this footing of this high, and then we've literally been tumbling back ever since. So, let's talk about the actual setup this morning in the live trade room so you see how it all transpired. So I'm going to head on over to the chart that we use. I have removed all the indicators just to clarify the price action so that you could see it really, really well, because I want you to focus in very closely on this. Notice this very competent double bottom, okay? 73.10. We tested it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times before we finally broke down. And this was the level I said, listen, if we lose this double bottom, that's it. We go to 72. And there's 71.80-ish. 71.80 perfect, actually, I believe. 71.80 perfect. Okay? So we took a barreling, basically straight fall into 72. Where are we now as we close out the session? 72.14. Okay? So we weren't too far off from what our expectations were. Let's break this down. Right? Market's in a definable downtrend. We're making lower highs and lower lows. We come into an area here that I would call a floor. When I turn on the volume, you'll see there was a lot of buying volume uniquely in this candle. Okay? This was concerning to me. I wasn't prepared to go short at this point until I had proven this candle been closed below. Notice we popped back up, we pulled back down, created a very short-term double bottom where the buyers aggressively stepped in until the sellers took control again up here around 73.68. And then we started marching back. Now I put this pullback line in, or a counter trend line if you would, inside the double bottom. And the reason I did that was because if we settled above this, there was a chance that we would retest this level again. Okay? And then maybe made a mid-trend double top, or maybe we would have broke this level and went higher. That scenario would have been analyzed as it happened, just like this scenario was. But we never broke this counter trend line. In fact, we sat down here and kept banging at this low until we fell through. Not only did we fall through on this candle, we retested that breakdown on the candle right next to it. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, this is very simplistic price action, guys. Okay, right there. Turn this off so it doesn't extend until the end of time. We broke and then basically came back and retested right where we broke down from. Also notice this, if I go to the low here before we violate, where did we find resistance later in the day? All right? Impulse, correction, and then we basically double bottomed right into these wicks and we held. Very predictable price action. Right? I talk to my traders through this every tick. Exactly what's happening, exactly what is likely to happen, and inversely what could go wrong. Right? If you're learning from somebody who's only telling you what they believe is going to be right, rather than telling you what the intention of the market is telling them, and conversely, what could go wrong for them, then you're not learning, you're just being dictated to and you're following along like sheep, right? There's a big difference. There's a big difference, right? I always tell my traders what is good about what's happening and what is bad about what's happening, because they need to know whether or not it works for them. It's very simple, guys, right? I'm not here to tell you to buy or sell. I'm here to teach you to recognize what's happening in the market and also assess what the risk is, because none of us are perfect. We're always going to be wrong at some point or another. Objectively, we're going to be right more often than we're wrong, but we're going to be wrong at some point in time. So the name of my company isn't Special Buy and Sell Signals, it's Special Analysis. I analyze the market for you in real time, and I tell you what is likely to happen next, but also what could go wrong. Because you have to understand that component is just as valuable as knowing what could go right. Because if you don't understand the relationship between those two analytical statements, then you don't understand trading. Right? My goal is to help you understand the things that it took me many years to understand in a much shorter period of time. So, we break the double bottom. We crap the bed. Very predictable. Find support just under 72. We reverse. And we've been bouncing off 72, 71.90, 71.80 all day long. How did we know this? Higher time frame told us so. How do we know that? Because Anthony does all his own hand-drawn analysis, and he knows how to interpret that hand-drawn analysis, so that my traders can put that information to work for themselves in the real market. Now, this may seem very overwhelming to you, but every single thing on this chart has a vital purpose. Higher time frame measurement of trend. This is a 15-minute MACD modified, designed to look at the higher time frame. This is a modified MACD for the current time frame. I modify it the way I want it to be. I have the fast-moving averages I prefer, the VWAPs I prefer. I do my hand-drawn analysis. I have the pivots that are meaningful to me. Notice how price got caught between this pivot here, right? Look at this. It got caught because those pivots are meaningful to me. Price retested when it created that top. Pivots or points in the market that were meaningful to me. Notice these pivots here. Resistance. 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 Okay? Everything on this chart has a very significant meaning to me, and it should to my clients, because it's part of my analysis. All right? So this was a phenomenal move down here in crude through the break of that double bottom. Take profits at these two pivots. We got the opening bell right here. The market kept selling off. 72 was the number I called. You had a great chance to enter the market at 73 and take profits at 72. It never went back against you for 100 ticks. Guys, if you want to learn how to interpret the market, not just some idiot tell you buy and sell and doesn't give a shit if you're right or wrong, hit me up. We'll have a conversation. If you're ready for this level of trading, then great. if you're not, and you're still looking for somebody to entertain you and somebody to give you buy and sell signals without any explanation of why or what could go wrong, then I'm not your guy. But if you've bought all those other classes and courses and coaching and all those other bullshit programs that nobody ever tells you what could go wrong, they only tell you their opinion, which is no better than anybody else's opinion, because that's not analysis, that is just entertainment, right? There's no such component in the market that just buy here, sell there. It doesn't work. You need to have an understanding of when, where, and most importantly, why and what those risks are. So if you want that depth of analysis, send me an email. Let's have a conversation. If this is right for you, great. If it's not, we part as friends. God bless, guys. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you in the next video.